Hey guys, here is story time with Antone number 2. These are stories about my old company, Lemon Squad, that I used to own. It's a company I founded and ran for many, many years. I'm no longer involved with Lemon Squad, but these are some stories from my time there. So if you're not familiar with Lemon Squad, what it does, it helps consumers to not get ripped off when buying used cars. And we did this nationally. So here's a couple of stories. One time there was a gentleman, older gentleman, I think he was in his 70s, and he had a savings that he had amassed, and he was going to spend his whole savings on a car that he wanted to buy. And most of our customers, like this customer, live out of state from the vehicle. They can't go easily and see the vehicle themselves. So since we're a national presence, they'll use our service to go out and look at the vehicle for them, since they can't be there. And this gentleman hired us to go look at a vehicle out of Arizona. It was somewhere near Phoenix, but out in the sticks. And he told us when he hired us that I've already bought the car, I've already paid full price for this vehicle. I just need you to go out before it gets shipped here and make sure it's what it's supposed to be. So he spent all his money. Now we have to go verify it. He shouldn't have spent his money before it was looked at. So we got the address, we called the seller, made the appointment to go look at it, verified the address with the seller, and we went out. What we arrived to was a field. No shop, no house, no anything, just a field. And then the seller never responded to us again. This guy was ripped off all of his money. Now, a lot of these con artists, a lot of these guys ripping people off, they actually will find a car on the internet that's for sale themselves. And then they take all those pictures and the verbiage, the wording from the ad that goes with that, those pictures, and then they'll put up an ad pretending like that's their car. So in a lot of cases, they'll have the VIN number and everything. And when you do your research at home, it looks like a legitimate deal, but it's not. Now, that guy was a little bit of an anomaly. Normally, our customers would not pay in advance before we went and looked at it. This guy did. And unfortunately for him, he lost all his money. And I've always thought about that guy over the years. Excuse me. I feel really bad for him. It was all the money he had. And it was a nostalgic thing for him. He had owned this type of vehicle when he was younger and just wanted to relive some of that, youthful nostalgia from owning that car before he expired from this earth. He told me he just wanted to own that car again and be able to use it. So there's one thing, there's one story from Lemon Squad. We didn't get to save this guy, but, it happened. Another thing that we've seen over the years at Lemon Squad is this, and this will help you guys understand a little bit how these scammers think too. So there's lots of dealerships out there, Ford and Chevy, and a lot of these have been around a long time, and they've got a great reputation online. Unfortunately, some of these businesses, they go out of business after 100 years even. And scammers will look for those dealerships that have went out of business. So if you look up, Bob's Chevy dealer in the middle of nowhere, you'll see, oh, this guy's been around a long time. What you don't see is maybe that they went out of business. The scammer will pick that dealer. They'll build their own website. The scammer puts a lot of work in to do this. He'll build a website. It looks just like a Chevy dealer website. And he puts a bunch of cars on there for sale that he doesn't own. He's just taking pictures off the internet everywhere. And if you really, really do your homework on these pictures, you'll see some have palm trees, some have snow. And he's trying to keep it all uniform, but he can't because they're coming from all over the country. But a lot of people don't catch that. So he puts these cars on the market, and he doesn't mark them real low to set off red flags. They're only a couple, $2,000, $3,000 off of what they should be. So in other words, a car selling for $50,000 is at $47,000, $48,000. And it seems like, whoa, this is a good deal. I could save a few grand, a couple grand, and it's not throwing off red flags with the potential buyer. Of course, we go out to look at the vehicle and we find that dealership's out of business. And it's been out of business possibly for months or even years in some cases. So, we get out there and we report back to the customer that we couldn't look at it because this place it doesn't exist. It's not in business. And then there's times where we will get inspections for a dealership that's still in business, and we'll call them and say, hey, we want to come look at this vehicle, and they say, we're getting lots of calls like that. We don't own any of these vehicles. Somebody's using our name. And again, somebody puts up a website, even though that place has already got a legitimate website up, they'll put another one up that looks like it under a name that's really, really close to their name. So if their name is usedcars.com, and that's a plural in their used cars, they'll put up the website usedcar.com, so it's close enough that it doesn't throw off red flags there either. And they'll have people, trying to buy cars that they don't even have there for sale. So that's another thing that we've ran into. One time, here's another little story. One time we had a customer used our service to go look at a car. And we hadn't even looked at the car yet. We were having a hard time getting a hold of the seller, but our customer already got a report emailed to him. And it had our logo on it, looked like our report, but we hadn't even been out yet. That seller was a scammer, and he went online to the Lemon Squad website, took our sample report, made a new report, but with his car showing how amazing it was, and gave it to the customer, pretending it came from us. And we hadn't even looked at it yet. So that was a funny situation. I was able to get that scammer on the phone. Our customer, how we found out about that, just so you know, is the customer called us to talk about our report that we did on that vehicle. He had some questions on it, and we're like, we don't have a report. That's how we found out. The customer called us. So that's when I called the seller, and I told him, I said, you know what? This is a felony. I'm getting the FBI involved in this because you're crossing state borders now, and it's an FBI thing. And I got that guy so scared, he actually was crying on the phone. And he promised never to do it again. Of course, I didn't call the FBI. I had called the police and FBI and many of these scammers in the very beginning. It doesn't do any good. The police don't do anything about it. The FBI doesn't do anything about it. There's so much of this going on that they don't care. So I probably shouldn't say that. Scammers might be watching this. But yeah, so anyway, had him crying and everything else. And, we saved our customer from getting ripped off from that Yahoo somewhere on the East Coast. So we also do inspections for extended warranty companies. Now, typically an extended warranty company hires us to go out and verify a failure before they'll pay the claim. So maybe you own a car and you have an extended warranty on it and the transmission fails. So you bring it into the shop. The shop says, hey, you need a transmission. The transmission won't be replaced till the extended warranty company will send an inspector out to verify that it really does need it, that this is something the vehicle really needs. And so that's an inspection we do for warranty companies. There's another one we do for warranty companies, but not as often. And it's called a pre-warranty inspection. So maybe you're somebody that has a used car and you decide you want to have an extended warranty on it. So you call up a company to have them, you tell them what car you have and you want to pay for this extended warranty. Some of those companies will do a pre-warranty inspection, so they'll send us out to verify that the car is in good shape to begin with before they put a warranty on it. And I cannot tell you how many times we've caught this issue. We go out to look at the vehicle, and the coolant should be nice and clear and look really good, green or orange, depending on the type of coolant it has, but we see oil in there. The head gasket's blown. The engine might be bad. It could be a cracked head. It could be anything, but it's really bad. And they know that. And then, so they're trying to put the warranty on it, thinking no one's going to come look at it. So they get this warranty. They've already got a motor issue. They wait 30 days, and then they try to make a claim on it. So now that maybe the motor is a $10,000 motor, but they only paid $1,500 for the extended warranty. So obviously that's a better deal to get the extended warranty company and try to get them to cover that motor instead of replacing it themselves. $1,500 sounds way better than $10,000. So we run into that a lot with those pre-warranty inspections. So the customer, the owner of the vehicle, even they can be scammers. And we see that a lot. Or the transmission might be slipping and they don't have the money they don't have the $6,000 for that transmission. They try to put an extended warranty on it and thinking the warranty company will pay for it and that they won't know that this tranny is already bad before they even put the warranty on it. But then we go out and verify it and find out that it's a bad tranny or bad engine. We tell the warranty company they don't get the extended warranty then because we found issues ahead of time, pre-existing issues, pre-existing failures. Everybody's heard of that word pre-existing when it comes to insurance, and the automotive industry is no different. So there's another thing that we've done. What else can I tell you guys? I got some notes over here I'm kind of looking at. Yeah, nothing really, just more programmer stuff. You know, many years of owning Lemon Squad, I've had lots of programmers coming and going that keep the system going and adding features and stuff. Maybe I'll tell you some of these stories. You might find them kind of interesting. One time we had a system built, and I talked about this programmer in another video. He ended up trying to rip us off, ended up actually ripping us off. But when he first built our system, if our inspector uploaded his report, so our inspectors go to the website, log in, and they fill out a little checklist of all the issues they found. And when that site first went live, what happened was every issue that all of our inspectors picked didn't just go on that car, it went on all the cars that we were looking at. So in other words, one inspector marked that there was a leak from the engine, another inspector marked a leak from the transmission. And instead of it just being on the car he looked at, it went to all of our cars that we had ever looked at. All of a sudden, all of our cars had all of these different issues happening, and that was a nightmare. But fortunately, we got that fixed fairly quick, and that was tough. Really was. We had customers not too happy for a week there while we were trying to get that fixed. My very first system that I had built for Lemon Squad was horrible. It was built in FileMaker Pro. Who remembers FileMaker Pro? I don't even know if it's out anymore. It was an Apple product. It was decent for what it did, but not for having a national company. It was a nightmare, and it didn't work very well. And you had to find a place that could host such a thing, because you can't host a FileMaker Pro website just anywhere. You had to have a special server set up for FileMaker Pro, and it was a nightmare. Oh my gosh, we had issues all over the place. That's about it. I don't know. Hopefully these are kind of fun, these little stories. I've got tons of them after 15 years or more with Lemon Squad. We've been ripped off. We've caught rip-offs and, you know, so much stuff over the years. We've saved thousands and thousands and thousands of customers from getting ripped off over the years. It's unbelievable. So anyway, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll do another one of these in a day or two. They're kind of fun. See you later.